Steam Next Fest brings a lot of game demos you can play. If you are pixel art game lovers, you don't want to miss this 25 indie pixel art games in this Steam Next Fest edition. We start the list with Blood High. Blood High is an unapologetically chaotic, fast-paced vampire boomer shooter that puts a macabre twist on traditional FPS mechanics. The story follows a vampire cursed with a separated head and body. The core of the gameplay is a high-stakes HP as ammo system. Your health constantly drains over time and is spent every time you fire your weapon. To stay alive, you must play aggressively, using your flying head as a projectile to execute enemies and instantly replenish your life force. When your health overflows, you enter Blood High mode, a berserk state of insane movement speed and destructive power. The Dark Crown Genesis is a punishing, pixel-perfect action roguelite that thrives on the concept of darkness as a weapon. Sacrificed by your own kingdom, you awaken in a cursed, sprawling dungeon where you must harness forbidden elements to climb your way back to the surface. Your character is exceptionally mobile, equipped with a double jump, air dash, and wall slide from the start to navigate handcrafted set pieces blended with procedurally generated layouts. The core hook lies in its elemental conquest system. By defeating demonic bosses, you don't just clear a stage, you steal their essence to permanently reshape your combat style and arsenal. Cat-Astrophy is a high-speed intergalactic roguelite that proves space is much more dangerous when you have whiskers. You guide Polo, a brave cat abducted by extraterrestrial forces, as he fights to recover his lost memories across procedurally generated planets. The game has a star cursor system, which requires you to manage precise directional attacks while simultaneously navigating lethal parkour sections. It's a fail-forward experience where every permadeath allows you to use star fragments for permanent upgrades. Tombwater is a haunting action RPG that imagines the Wild West through the lens of eldritch horror. The game drops you into a mining town that has been devoured by madness. You will step into the boots of a lone gunslinger in a cursed mining town. You must survive brutal stamina-based combat using a mix of firearms, blades, and dark spells while constantly risking your hard-earned experience upon death. It's a top-down, interconnected experience that feels like a brutal marriage between early The Legend of Zelda and the punishing mechanics of Bloodborne. The Last Phoenix is a high-speed reincarnation RPG that flips the script on death. You will play as Felix, a goblin endowed with the demonic power of rebirth. In a world where humans have hunted your kind to the brink of extinction, death is not a setback, it is your most vital tool. Every time you fall in battle, you return to the Blood Root, an ancient living skill tree to spend the blood of your enemies on permanent upgrades and new abilities, effectively making Felix an unstoppable force of nature through sheer persistence. Alien Strike Blasting the Intruders is a love letter to the golden era of 16-bit arcade shooters, developed by Combo Game Studio. This explosive run-and-gun drops you into a futuristic manga-style invasion where you must slide, jump, and shoot in 8 directions to survive. While many modern shooters lean into bullet hell mechanics, Alien Strike captures the specific adrenaline of classics like Contra or Metal Slug, featuring local co-op for up to 3 players. Collecting the same weapon multiple times turbocharges your firepower, turning standard shots into screen-clearing blasts. The Ember Guardian is a side-scrolling strategy game that blends the colony management of Kingdom with the intense twin-stick gunplay of a roguelike shooter. You play as a lone wanderer, accompanied by a loyal hound, tasked with protecting the last embers of a dying world. The gameplay follows a strict day-night cycle. During the day, you must venture out into the pixel art wastes to scavenge resources and recruit workers to fortify your camp. When night falls, the game shifts into a frantic defensive struggle, where you must personally hold the line against waves of creatures drawn to your light. Copy Talk Tokyo is the latest standalone chapter in the beloved heart-to-heart talking simulator series, shifting its late-night refuge from the rainy streets of Seattle to a cozy jazz kisa in the back alleys of Tokyo. The game maintains its signature loop of brewing warm and now refreshing cold drinks for a diverse cast of humans and yokai while listening to their deeply personal stories. The Tokyo setting introduces a fresh perspective on the franchise's urban fantasy world, drawing inspiration from Japanese folklore and the quiet neon-lit residential streets of the city. Divinum is a blend of Devil May Cry style high-speed hack and slash and deep Metroidvania exploration. The game follows Fior, a young woman born under a celestial blessing, as she fights to protect her northern island from an encroaching void. What sets Divinum apart is its technical combat system. This isn't a simple mash X to win platformer. You can launch enemies into the air to perform gravity-defying aerial raves, swap between two distinct primary weapons mid-combo, and master a high-skill parry system that rewards frame-perfect timing. Super Alloy Crush is a relentless roguelike brawler that feels like Mega Man X was rebuilt from the ground up for the modern character action era. This sequel moves away from traditional platforming traps to focus entirely on aggressive face-to-face combat. You play as Mu, a close combat mecha girl with energy claws, or Kelly, a tactical firearms specialist human, on a high-stakes mission to find a mythical treasure planet. Unlike its predecessor, there is no contact damage from enemies. Instead, the game encourages you to stay in the thick of it, using a stance break system to interrupt massive bosses and launch them into devastating aerial combos. Fishbowl is a cozy, surreal slice-of-life story that tackles the heavy themes of isolation, grief, and adulthood with remarkable gentleness. The game follows Aloe as she starts her first job in a new city while mourning her grandmother. The gameplay is a thoughtful loop of daily survival. By day, you work from home as a video editor, completing a rhythm-style matching minigame, and manage your mental health through chores and self-care. By night, the world shifts into a hazy 8-bit dreamscape where you solve unpacking puzzles to rediscover childhood memories. Steel Artery is a fascinating city builder on wheels that challenges you to manage a massive, multiracial society aboard a colossal moving train. The game departs from traditional God game mechanics by featuring completely autonomous citizens. You don't give direct orders. Instead, your thousands of inhabitants make their own choices based on their needs, culture, and wealth. Your role as the mayor of the Steel Polis is to manage the complex logistics of a limited wagon-based space, balancing a high-stakes economy where citizens must earn wages to pay for their own food and rest. SoulQuest is a ferociously fast spectacle fighter that combines the kinetic energy of Devil May Cry with the rich atmospheric lore of Celtic and Arthurian mythology. The game puts you in the boots of Alice, a warrior whose refusal to accept her husband's death leads her on a blood-soaked crusade against the gods. Your primary target is Morgan, the goddess of death, but to reach her, you'll have to carve through legions of divine servants using a deep, free-form combat system. Kloa, Child of the Forest, is a breathtaking top-down action RPG that feels like a love letter to The Legend of Zelda and the films of Studio Ghibli. The game casts you as Kloa, a human child who is the forest's last hope against the Akatori curse, a dark blight turning peaceful animals into aggressive monsters. The game plays a perfect balance of exploration and skill-driven combat, allowing you to master the Sakiko Katana for fluid melee combos and projectile deflections, alongside the Soul Bow for precise spiritual ranged attacks. Delverium is a charming pixel art survival sandbox that blends the agricultural serenity of Stardew Valley with the subterranean exploration of Terraria. The game is a frustration-free take on the genre, meaning you won't find tedious hunger, thirst, or weapon durability mechanics here. Instead, the focus is on faults, mysterious invading rifts that you must investigate by delving into dangerous, procedurally generated dungeons. It supports up to 8-player online co-op, and more impressively, 4-player local split screen, a rarity for modern base builders. LumenTale Memories of Trey is a vibrant monster collector RPG that combines the nostalgic charm of classic creature tamers with a modern emotive narrative. You play as Trey, an amnesiac youth navigating the land of Talea. The world is inhabited by Animon, creatures born from Anivis energy that can interact with human emotions. The gameplay sets itself apart with the Holokin, a multifunctional tool used to catch Animon in the overworld via a reflex-based minigame, bypassing the need for battle if you're quick enough. When combat is unavoidable, the game features strategic 4-on-4 turn-based battles that emphasize elemental synergy across 13 different types. LUCID is a breathtaking crystal punk adventure that has earned the community nickname of its Celesteoidvania. The game places you in the role of Owen, a young sentinel navigating a fractured world to fulfill a solemn promise. While it features the interconnected exploration typical of a Metroidvania, its soul lies in its momentum-based platforming. The standout feature of LUCID is how it weaves combat into movement. You can perform air dashes and double jumps, then strike a crystal or an enemy to reset your movement abilities, allowing you to cross massive gaps without ever touching the ground. Romestead is a captivating Rome-like action survival town builder that imagines a world where the Roman Empire didn't just fall, it was devoured by an apocalyptic supernatural event. The game tasks you with rebuilding civilization amidst a landscape crawling with reanimated husks and mythical beasts. Instead of clicking through menus, you physically pick up, carry, and throw rocks or lumber. If an enemy gets too close while you're working, you can simply hurl a boulder at its face. The game features a deep worship system, where you sacrifice resources or even citizens to 7 different Roman gods to unlock specialized technologies and divine boons. Fight Life Vanguard is a somber turn-based tactical RPG that draws heavy inspiration from the grid-based classics of the 90s. You take on the mantle of a commander leading a ragtag mercenary squad through a war-torn landscape, tasked with protecting humanity against a rising darkness born from divine betrayal. The gameplay centers on meticulous squad management, where you must recruit from a diverse pool of warriors, each with their own unique growth paths. Fight Life emphasizes the vulnerability of your recruits. You must carefully nurture their skills through 4 chapters of combat, watching them evolve from inexperienced soldiers into legendary champions. Stardust Wish of Witch is a turn-based strategy RPG that feels like a modern evolution of the Golden Era tactical classics. The story follows the tomboyish warrior Star and her mage childhood friend Yu as they chase the secrets of a wish-granting star. While the grid-based movement and bird's-eye perspective will feel immediately familiar to fans of Final Fantasy Tactics, the game introduces a layer of modern complexity with its card-based counter and combo system. Combat isn't just about positioning, it's about playing the right skill cards to trigger devastating 2D animated ultimate moves that shatter the battlefield. Altered Alma is a visually arresting fusion of high-octane Metroidvania action and deep RPG social systems. You play as Jack, a mercenary carving a path through the dangerous underworld of Neo-Barcelona. The game stands out by blending the tight, teleportation-based combat of the Quantum Blade with a massive emphasis on your crew and relationships. Between missions, you return to your spaceship, the Esperanza, which serves as your customizable base. Here, the game takes a page from Mass Effect, allowing you to recruit new members, upgrade your ship, and forge deep bonds, or even find romance with a diverse cast of characters. Akatori is a breathtaking action platformer that blends the tight, exploration-heavy DNA of Hollow Knight with the aggressive momentum-based combat of Nine Souls. You play as Mako, a young monk tasked with traveling across 5 distinct realms to stop the Amber Storms, a corrupting force warping the land and its people. What makes Akatori a standout is its kung fu parkour system. Traversal is expressive and fast. You use your staff to glide from heights, wall hook, and slide down steep slopes to maintain constant speed. This flows directly into a movement-driven combat system where you can chain staff strikes on the ground, launch enemies into the air, and even throw your staff as a projectile.
The ultimate MMORPG. Hire developers, fight fires, design...
Let's Build a Dungeon is a brilliant, multi-layered meta sim that puts you in the frantic shoes of an indie studio CEO. The game isn't just about building rooms, it's a full-scale industry simulator where you design a living MMORPG and then deal with the fallout of your own creative decisions. You'll draft game design documents, hire a team of coders and artists, and try to satisfy a fickle player base that will cancel their subscription the second they get bored. Beyond the stress of the boardroom, the demo features a robust Just Build mode that allows for a more relaxed, collaborative experience where up to 4 players can work together to shape a world using a randomized deck of cards to determine new assets and quests.
Finally, in Dungeoneering mode, you can jump into the world.
Alabaster Dawn is a top-down 2.5D action RPG that represents the next ambitious step for Radical Fish Games, that shifting from the game-within-a-game setting of its predecessor to a high-fantasy wasteland. The story follows Juno, an outcast chosen who awakens to a world smothered by the shadow of Nyx. With the gods missing and humanity trapped in a magical slumber, you are tasked with a literal reconstruction of civilization, cleansing the land of its curse and rebuilding settlements from ruins into thriving towns. The game moves to a stunning 2.5D engine that blends traditional pixel art with 3D perspectives, providing much-needed clarity for the series' signature vertical platforming and intricate environmental puzzles. Replaced is a 2.5D sci-fi action platformer that has become one of the most anticipated in the indie scene. The game is set in an alternative, dystopian 1980s America where a nuclear catastrophe has turned society into a ruthless corporate playground. You take on the role of Reach, an artificial intelligence that has been unwillingly downloaded into a human body. The narrative explores themes of identity and survival, as Reach struggles to navigate the corrupt streets of Phoenix City. The gameplay is defined as cinematic platforming, drawing heavy inspiration from titles like Inside and Flashback, but with a combat system that feels like a 2D evolution of the Batman Arkham series. So that is the video. Which game that catches your eye? Or do you have another favorite pixel art game at this next fest? Please let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.